onda, vatos? Thanks again for tuning in to yet another video. Infamous here, coming at you from San Jose, California. Let's go ahead and get on with the topic of today's ride. I came across a Facebook post that I found pretty much very interesting. I did like, well, I mean, I didn't like the post itself, but you know what? It's just something that I already mentioned in prior videos where I talk about aftermarket versus OEM performance, Screaming Eagle. So this gentleman just, I guess, put in it in my own version of the post. He went to the dealership, showed off his lowrider. I believe it's a 2020, and they were just talking about it. He was probably acquiring about, maybe traded it in, or maybe he was just wondering what he could get for it, or something like that, maybe along those lines. And the sales guys, the dealership, they liked everything they saw on the bike. It had a built motor. It had a lot of modifications to the bike. A very good looking bike, kind of like mine, I guess, but like I said, it did have a built motor. So aftermarket, I'm assuming it's aftermarket, and it's probably maybe S&S or something like that. So overall, extended warranty stuff like that, it's not there anymore. And they pretty much told them, you know what, your bike's pretty much worthless. From the post, it seemed like they offered them probably $10K or maybe less than that. The dealership mentioned that a bike like that with the built engine, with 30,000 miles, keep in mind it's a 2020, so 1 year, 30,000 miles. They just said a bike like that would go straight to the auction.
You serious?
Looking at the comments, I started kind of reading what everybody had in mind, and I could agree with everything that these folks were saying. Yes, I guess it's a little frustrating having, I mean, a few people were mentioning this. You have a bike like this, like mine, and they'll offer you maybe $16,000. There's just no value on the modifications, on the aftermarket part. My risers, my Plex audio, my fairing, all of this extra perks and bells and whistles, that just adds no value to the bike. So, and I believe this person was just saying that he traded in his bike with a big list of modifications, and he went back to the dealership just to find that his bike was still there 6 months later. And like we all know, dealerships, they're going to give you as little as possible, and they're going to try to sell your bike for as much as they can. Like I mentioned in that used video, in that used bike, what happened to your bike video. So from what this gentleman was saying, he just mentioned that the bike was just not selling 6 months later because the dealership wanted to make money off of the mods, off the list of parts. Of course, this is this dealership. They'll give you $15,000 for your lowrider S, and then they'll turn around and sell your bike for $30,000 because it's got a stage 1 risers, a seat, maybe saddlebags, on and on and on. So yes, of course, that's the way it works. So maybe that had something to play in it, but I believe it was mainly just the built motor and the 30,000 miles. A lot of the people were commenting that they wouldn't look at a lowrider with 30,000 miles. There's just no way. And a lot of people were mentioning that some of these bikes with higher mileage are also tougher to sell. So where am I getting with this? Like I mentioned in my other videos, my prior videos of the aftermarket, OEM, Screaming Eagle, wear and tear, keeping these engines reliable with factory OEM parts. I think that's, like I said, that plays a part. The wear and tear on the engine, the RPMs. We're looking at gaskets. I believe last year S&S was having some head bolts breaking, something like that. I remember seeing this from I think Moonshine Harley. Well, yeah, Moonshine Harley-Davidson. So all of that has a part to play in it, and same thing with a regular vehicle or anything like that. The wear and tear is just It's just there. You wouldn't put a turbocharger on an engine with over with over 50,000 miles. It's just unheard of. I mean, not to go off the topic too much, but if you're looking at putting a supercharger or a turbocharger, depending on the boost, if it's aftermarket or maybe it's OEM, if it's aftermarket, you definitely want to replace your gaskets, your head gaskets, mainly because, like I said, the wear and tear, the boost, and there's more of a chance of you, how do you say it, man? Blowing out. Sorry. There's just a higher chance of you blowing out one of those head gaskets with an engine with that many miles and then putting boost in it.
Bye, Felicia.
So anyways, it was just something that I kind of wanted to make a video on. Like I said, I did like the topic. I like what everybody was mentioning, commenting. Like I said, join the Facebook group. There's a lot of good stuff there. Builds, cams, suggestions, different parts. There's just everything in the Facebook group. You can search it in the top of the search bar, and you can find anything. That Facebook group has been around for almost 2 years now, and there's a lot of good information. A lot of people, like I said, that have dealt with dealerships. There's just all kinds of different things over there related with the Lowrider S and with the Milwaukee 8. So I mean, there's always good stuff, and you could always see what's going on with these bikes. Like I mentioned, I have a video on what people have been finding and what people have been running into warranty-wise, issues-wise. You guys go ahead and leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think of this person's situation. Of course, the dealership is going to try to get the most out of the deal. Yes, I know it's a little shady, but that's just what happens when you're trading in or you're selling to the dealership. They're going to give you the least amount of money for your bike. This bike right here, I guarantee you, they'll try to offer me maybe somewhere about $14,000 or $15,000 for my Lowrider S. And just like that, once they put it on the market or on the showroom floor, they'll probably try to get maybe somewhere around $25,000 or $26,000 for it, with all the with all the extras on the bike. So I mean, that's why we call them dealerships, right? You guys just go ahead and leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys can share some of your stories, or maybe you guys probably saw a build, or maybe you guys saw a bike that you probably felt like it was too high on mileage, or maybe you guys could share your guys' own opinion about buying a built motor with that amount of miles on it. Would you guys buy a bike with the built engine with 30,000 miles? I don't know, just something to kind of think of and something to relate to, since I already have maybe about four videos on this topic. You guys just stay out there, stay safe, don't believe everything you read. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.